7.2 goes over multiplying polynomials. When we multiply polynomials, we can do this in multiple ways. There's foiling, we can distribute. It's totally up to you. You can do this vertically, you can do it horizontally. Again, it's totally up to you. So if we start with example 1, we are just finding the product. So we're going to be multiplying using the distributive property to start with. So for A, we have x plus 2 times x plus 5. When we distribute this, we're going to take the first term in the first set of parentheses, which is the x, and we're going to distribute it into the x plus 5, so that second set of parentheses. Then we'll take this second term in the first set of parentheses, which is the positive 2, and distribute it into the second set of parentheses, which is the x plus 5. When we distribute the x in, we're going to have x times x, which is x squared, then x times 5, which is positive 5x. Then we have the 2 that we're distributing in, so 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 5 is 10. From here, we do have two like terms, which are the 5x and the 2x, so we can combine those to get x squared plus 7x plus 10. For example B, we have x plus 3 times x minus 4. So again, we're going to use distribution with this. We're going to take the x in the first set of parentheses, distribute it into the x minus 4. Then we'll take the 3 and distribute it into the x minus 4. So if I do the x times x, that's going to give us x squared. X times negative 4 is negative 4x. If I distribute it in the 3, I'm going to have 3x. Then if I distribute it in the negative 4, I have negative 12. So from here, again, we combine like terms. That negative 4x plus 3x gives us negative x. So altogether, we have x squared minus x minus 12. For example C, we're given y plus 4 times y plus 1. So we're going to take y from the first set of parentheses, distribute it into the y plus 1. Then we'll take the 4, distribute it into the y plus 1. So y plus y is y squared. Y plus 1 is y. 4 times y is 4y. And 4 times 1 is 4. So again, we just combine like terms. The y plus 4y gives us 5y, so that's y squared plus 5y plus 4. For example 5, we have z minus 2 times z plus 6. So again, we're going to take the z and the z minus 2, distribute it into z plus 6. Then we'll take the negative 2 and distribute it into the z plus 6. So z times z is z squared. Z times 6 is 6z. Negative 2 times z is negative 2z. And negative 2 times 6 is negative 12. Our like terms are the 6z and the negative 2z. So we have z squared plus 4z minus 12. For our next set of examples, we have a little bit of a different like binomial that we see here. Sometimes they're going to have a coefficient to the variable within the binomial. With these, I'm going to use a FOIL method, which just means first, inner, outer, last. Or first, outer, inner, last, I'm sorry. So we're going to take the first term in the first set of parentheses and distribute it in. Then we'll take the same term, distribute it in. Then we'll take the second and distribute it in. So this is just doing it to where you don't have to write out the distribution. So we would do the 2 times x. Let's do it this way so you can see. 2 times x is 2x squared. Then we would do the 2 times 5, or sorry, 2x times 5, which is 10x. Then we would do the negative 3 times x, which is negative 3x. Then the negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. We still have like terms with this, which are the 10x and the negative 3x. So we combine those to get 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. For example B, we have p plus 3 times p minus 8. So this p times p gives us p squared. Then we have p times negative 8 is negative 8p. 3 times p is 3p. And 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. So again, we combine our like terms. So this is going to give us p squared minus 5p minus 24. You'll realize when I do this, or when we do this together, that whatever sign you have in front of that term that you're multiplying with another is going to stay with the term. So you need to be careful with your signs with these, because if you're not careful with those signs, it could mess you up when you go to combine like terms and give you the wrong coefficient. For example C, we have r minus 5 times 2r minus 1. So again, if we use the FOIL method, we're going to do r times 2r, which is 2r squared. Then r times negative 1 is negative r. The negative 5 times 2r is negative 10r. And negative 5 times negative 1 is a positive 5. So to combine our like terms here, this gives us 2r squared minus 11r, because remember there's a 1 in front of that negative r, plus 5. And for example D, we have 5x minus 2 times 3x plus 4. So again, I'm going to take this 5x, distribute it in. So I have 15x squared plus 20x. Then I distribute in the negative 2 to get negative 6x minus 8. Our like terms are the 20x and the negative 6x. So this gives us 15x squared plus 14x minus 8. So the next part of your lesson does go over the FOIL method, and it just tells you that you're multiplying the first terms, then you're multiplying the outer terms, then it's by the inner terms and the last terms. So with this, it's the same exact thing that we were just doing. I am going to show you a little bit of a different way to do these while you're doing this method, so that way it kind of visually looks better. When you're doing this, you can also set this up vertically. So what that means is when you go to distribute in that first term, you're going to have an x squared. If you distribute in again, you're going to have a negative 6x. When you go to distribute that second term in, you're going to start a new line right underneath that x squared minus 6x with your like terms on top of one another. So that just means when you take the negative 3 times the x, you get a negative 3x. You're going to find where the x value is in the first expression that you wrote down and put that negative 3x right underneath it. So because the negative 3x is a like term to the negative 6x, it goes right underneath it. Then you would have the negative 3 times the negative 6, which gives you a positive 18. We can add these. This x squared is going to drop down. The negative 6x minus 3x is a negative 9x, and the 18 drops down. So again, just visually it looks a little bit easier, so that way your like terms are on top of each other and you don't have to go searching for your like terms to combine them. For example B, we have 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 5. So again, 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times negative 5 is negative 10x. From there, take the 1 distributed in, we get 3x. That's going to go underneath the negative 10x. Then 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. From here, we add our like terms. So the 6x squared drops down. We have negative 7x, and the negative 5 drops down. So in total, 6x squared minus 7x minus 5 is what we get when we multiply 2x plus 1 times 3x minus 5. For example C, we have m minus 3 times n minus 7. So we're going to take the m, distribute it in. We get m squared minus 7m. Then we'll take the negative 3, distribute it in. We get negative 3m plus 21. We add these two. The m squared drops down. The negative 7m minus 3m gives us negative 10m. And then positive 21 drops down. So it's just m squared minus 10m plus 21. For D, we have x minus 4 times x plus 2. So, again, distribute the x in. We're going to have x squared plus 2x. Then we'll distribute the negative 4 in. We get negative 4x minus 8. We add these, and we're left with x squared minus 2x minus 8. So with our next example, we're working with fractions. We have 2u plus 1/2 times u minus 3/2. So with this, I'm going to do this one a little bit differently so that way I can see exactly what I'm doing and I don't have to do it right in my head every single time I'm multiplying. So I am going to distribute the 2u into the u minus 3/2. And then I'll distribute the 1/2 into u minus 3/2. From here, the 2u times u is what we'll do first. Then we'll do a positive 2u, because 2u is positive, times a negative 3 over 2. Then we have 1/2 times u, and 1/2 times negative 3 over 2. From here, 2u times u is 2u squared. The 2u times negative 3 over 2, a positive times a negative is a negative. The 2's are going to cancel, and we're just going to have negative 3 times u, which is just negative 3u. The 1/2 times u is 1/2 u. And then the 1/2 times negative 3/2, we're going to multiply straight across. A positive times a negative is a negative. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 2 is 4. So from here, you just have to combine your like terms. The 3 can only combine with the 1/2 if it is a like denominator fraction. So rewrite the 3 as a fraction with a denominator of 2. This is going to become 2u squared minus 6 over 2u plus 1/2 u minus 3/4. This will make things a lot easier. So when you go to combine these, you're just combining the numerators. So negative 6 plus 1 gives us a negative 5. So that's 2u squared minus 5 over 2u minus 3/4. For example F, we have n plus 2 times n squared plus 3. So again, I'm just going to FOIL this. N times n squared is n cubed. N times 3 is 3n. The 2 times n squared is 2n squared. And 2 times 3 is 6. So I look at this and I do not have any like terms that I can combine. However, this is not in standard form. So I am going to rewrite it to where it is in standard form. So it's just going to give us n cubed plus 2n squared plus 3n plus 6. So the next part of your lesson deals with multiplying a binomial times a trinomial. When you're doing it, this is why I show it to you vertically. Because it is easier to identify your like terms when you do these vertically, especially if you have a binomial times something more than a binomial. So a binomial times a polynomial, you definitely want to try to do it vertically, so that way you can line up your like terms. Makes things a lot easier. So if we look at example A here, we have x plus 5 times x squared minus 3x minus 2. I'm going to first take the x and the x plus 5 and multiply it by x squared minus 3x minus 2. Then I'll take the 5 and do the same thing, multiply by the x squared minus 3x minus 2. When I go to rewrite this, I'm going to write this vertically. So x times x squared is x cubed. X times negative 3x is negative 3x squared. X times negative 2 is negative 2x. Then we have the 5 times the x squared minus 3x minus 2. 5 times x squared is 5x squared. I'm going to put it underneath the negative 3x squared since they're like terms. 5 times negative 3x is negative 15x. And 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. From here, I'm just going to add my like terms or add both of these expressions, that x cubed drops down. Negative 3x squared plus 5x squared is 2x squared. Negative 2x minus 15x is negative 17x, and the negative 10 drops down. So we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 17x minus 10. For example B, we have x plus 1 times x squared plus 5x plus 8. So again, I'm going to do the x times the x squared plus 5x plus 8. Then I'll take the 1 and multiply it by the x squared plus 5x plus 8. All right, so x times x squared is x cubed. X times 5x is 5x squared. X times 8 is 8x. The 1 distributed in is going to give us x squared plus 5x plus 8. We combine like terms or just add, so x cubed plus 6x squared plus 13x plus 8 is our answer. For example C, we have n minus 3 times n squared minus 2n plus 4. So this we're going to have n times n squared minus 2n plus 4, as well as negative 3 times n squared minus 2n plus 4. So n times n squared is n cubed, n times negative 2n is negative 2n squared, and n times 4 is 4n. Negative 3 times n squared is negative 3n squared. Then we have a positive 6n and a negative 12. So add these, we get n cubed minus 5n squared plus 10n minus 12. For example D, we have x squared plus 3x times 2x to the 5th power minus 3x to the 3rd power plus 5x. So again, I'm going to take this x squared, multiply it by 2x to the 5th minus 3x cubed plus 5x. Then we'll take the 3x and we'll do the same thing. Multiply by the 2x to the 5th minus 3x cubed plus 5x. So x squared times 2x to the 5th is 2x to the 7th. X squared times negative 3x to the 3rd is negative 3x to the 5th. X squared times 5x is 5x cubed. For the 3x times 2x to the 5th power, we get 6x to the 6th power. That's not a like term to anything, so I'm going to write it on the end of this. Then we have 3x times negative 3x to the 3rd power. That's going to give us a negative 4x to the 4th power. Again, not a like term, so I'm going to just write it right after that. And then 3x times 5x is going to give us 15x squared. Again, not a like term anywhere, so I'm just going to write it right after. From here, I am going to rewrite this to be in standard form. So we have 2x to the 7th power plus 6x to the 6th power minus 3x to the 5th power minus 9x to the 4th power plus 5x cubed plus 15x squared.